The anointed ones, welcome. The truth will make you angry, but it will also release you. Gloria Steinem. Let's be brutally honest, chosen ones. Have you ever been given the impression that you're going crazy, only to discover afterwards that it was all a staged illusion? To mix things up, consider this. Gaslighting is a power play driven by fear and jealousy, not merely emotional manipulation. And you know what? Those attempting to steer your story are aware that they are operating on borrowed time. The worst part is that they're tampering with the general equilibrium, not just you. What about the cosmos? Yes, its debts are always collected. These folks are already experiencing the tremors of what is about to happen to them, and karma doesn't remind them. Keep watching, because we're going to reveal in this video why these manipulators are going to stop at nothing to deceive you, and why their karma is going to hit them harder than a terrible movie's plot twist. They're not prepared for the conclusion. Spoiler warning. The first is gaslighting as a desperate tactic. Gaslighting is always an act of desperation and never a show of strength. Those who are attempting to control you are aware that they are losing control and that their hold is loosening. They are frightened by your development, your growing self-assurance, and your unwavering vitality. What do they do then? They intensify. They attempt to persuade you that what you know to be true is nevertheless false by manipulating your words and rewriting occurrences. However, the fact is that they are gaslighting you because they are afraid, not because you are weak. They know deep down that you are untouchable. Your clarity threatens their confusion. Your power reveals their fears. They've been clutching tightly to the illusion of authority. But every time you speak your truth, it breaks it. Gaslighting is their desperate attempt to recover control in a struggle they have already lost. It is not confidence. Consider this. Why would they need to influence you if they really thought they were correct? Why are mirrors and smoke necessary? They do this because they are aware that their reality is not self-sufficient. Their desperation is evident as their falsehoods come to light. They are unable to stop themselves because of this. The goal of gaslighting is to divert their attention from the reality that they are running out of time, not only to confuse you. It's just a matter of time before all they've built on lies collapses, and they can sense karma breathing down their necks. Since they're already harming themselves from the inside out, you don't even need to strike back. Therefore, keep in mind that when they attempt to distort your reality, it is evidence of their fear rather than a reflection of your weakness. They aren't aware of it yet, but you've already won. But they will, I promise. Type Amen to embrace the angel's blessings. Show your support by giving super thanks up to $20. Second, their shadows are triggered by your energy. People gaslight you because you're a mirror they can't manage, not because you're incorrect. They are forced to face aspects of themselves that they have been avoiding for years by your enthusiasm, self-assurance, and honesty. The way your presence makes someone feel is more important than the things you say or do. They lash out at you rather than confront the issue that you've triggered inside of them. They use gaslighting as a deterrent. They avoid looking at their own reality by forcing you to doubt yours. However, they are unaware that their response to you is a sign rather than a random occurrence. It's evidence that your energy is so strong that it brings secrets to light. Their shadows, the aspects of themselves they detest to admit, are being triggered by you. And that is their burden to bear, not yours. Imagine how difficult it must be to live that way, to hide from yourself all the time, to project your fears onto other people, to create a whole world around falsehoods. They can't tolerate being around you because of this. You are honest, bold, and free. Everything they're too scared to be. Your energy serves as a constant reminder of what they are not whenever you enter a room. What about the irony? Their own problems become more apparent the more they gaslight you. It draws attention to their vulnerability and dread. They are the issue, not you. But rather than taking responsibility for it, they blame it on you. Don't. Your power is their demise, your truth is their destruction, and your clarity is their disarray. Because the reflection is truthful, continue to be the mirror they despise. The third is that everything is observed by the cosmos. Even when individuals believe they are getting away with anything, the cosmos is constantly keeping an eye on them. People who engage in gaslighting may think it's a smart trick, but they are unaware that powers far bigger than themselves are recording every move, every intention, and every manipulation. The cosmos cannot be deceived by them, but they may deceive you, distort reality, and cause you to doubt your sanity. What about the cosmos? It doesn't forget. Karma is a rule that operates subtly, methodically, and precisely. It is neither a fable nor a fairy tale. When someone gaslights you, they are sowing the seeds of their own misery in addition to harming you. They release energy into the world with every word they twist and every fact they misrepresent, and that energy only returns to them. They believe they are in charge, but the irony is that their destiny is sealed by the gaslighting itself. The universe balances dishonesty rather than rewarding it. Even though these individuals may feel untouchable right now, their behavior is setting a timer. Everything they have done to you will eventually be duplicated and returned to them. It may not occur right away, but when it does, it will be as powerful as all of their previous lies. For them, the worst part? They sense its imminence. They are so anxious to keep control because of this. They are terrified as they feel the change and the accumulation of their own karma. Even though they may not acknowledge it, they are aware that they are borrowing time. For them, gaslighting may seem like a victory right now, but it's really just a postponement of the inevitable. When karma hits, it doesn't simply knock, it dismantles. The cosmos never misses. Fourth, they bear the consequences of their own deceptions. Although gaslighters are often adept at concealing their actual emotions, if you examine them thoroughly, you can always see the flaws in their facade. There is a deep, simmering paranoia that they are unable to completely repress behind the smirks, the forced laughter, and the artificial confidence. They may seem to be invincible, but in reality, their own falsehoods haunt them. Gaslighting involves more than simply lying to you. It also involves them persuading themselves. They begin to become more detached from their own world, the longer they maintain the charade. Every falsehood, deception, and perverted interpretation of the truth they have said must be documented. It wears you out, and eventually the burden becomes too much to carry. Because they have constructed their whole universe on a precarious foundation of dishonesty, they are unable to trust anybody, not even themselves. Their paranoia begins modestly. Perhaps they overreact to a harmless remark, or wince when someone asks them a question. But their terror grows along with their falsehoods. They begin to see uncertainty in every look and treachery in every shadow. They have trouble sleeping, worry excessively, and are always on edge, wondering when their web of lies will come undone. Their karma is only getting started. It begins the instant people question their own reality, rather than waiting for a big moment of disclosure. The universe allows their own falsehoods to inflict the damage instead of them. They are the ones who created the weight they bear, and it will eventually destroy them. They're the ones unraveling while they're busy attempting to get you to doubt your reality. The confidence wanes, the grin disappears, and the paranoia proves to be their downfall. To share the love of the angels, write Amen and contribute up to $20 with a super thank you. Fifth, gaslighting is a sign of your development. Gaslighting is a reaction to your development and is never random. They attempt harder to bring you down the higher you get. Their manipulations are a direct response to your change and power. They're scared because you've reached a stage where their typical strategies don't work as well. They take drastic steps because they sense that you are becoming less under their control. This is about energy, not simply power relations. Their vulnerabilities are exposed by your development. They are reminded of their stagnation with each step you move ahead. They find the contrast intolerable as they see you escaping the constraints and patterns that still confine them. They attack your life rather than taking stock of their own. Your progress is shown by the extreme intensity of their gaslighting. If you weren't a danger, they wouldn't care. They use deception, manipulation, and mental games to attempt to lower you back to their level. However, they are unable to acknowledge the fact that you have already outgrown them. You are using a frequency that they are unable to reach. Thus, their efforts to manipulate you are ineffective. They are unaware that their terror is a foreshadowing of their karma. They speed up their own demise the more they attempt to stop you. Although their maneuvers may cause you to lag a little, they are ultimately exposing themselves to unavoidable repercussions. Therefore, let their gaslighting remind you that they are unable to cope with your evolution. Your strength is shown by their desperation, and their demise is already underway. They can't stop what's intended for you, so keep developing. Number 6. Unsuccessful efforts at manipulation, a symbol of their karma. When someone gaslights you, their manipulation will eventually begin to crumble under its own weight. When their efforts to manipulate you start to fall apart dramatically, it's one of the most obvious indications of their karma. The energy they've released is beginning to work against them, regardless of how well they've constructed their falsehoods, and you can see it coming apart in front of your own eyes. Their jail is their web of falsehoods. It's inevitable that the tales they've said to gaslight you will seep into their dealings with other people. Inconsistencies increase with their attempts at manipulation. People begin to see the holes in their story. Their credibility continues to suffer as the charm they formerly employed to conceal their intentions wears off. The irony is that they seem more out of control the more they attempt to reclaim it. Their falsehoods become additional lies, and before long, they are using all of their energy attempting to correct their tale. Anyone who pays attention can see how tiresome and unsustainable it is. Every mistake they make seems to be magnified by the cosmos, which seems to be a mirror reflecting their actions. Their machinations will no longer have the same effect on you or anyone else you'll notice. What used to seem easy now fails. Their plans lose steam when people start to see through their strategies. Karma is at work here. They are receiving a reversal of their energy in return. The havoc they attempted to create for you has now imprisoned them. The same falsehoods they based their whole world on eventually caused them to become isolated as their influence and reputation wane. They were really hurting themselves, even if they believed they were in charge of you. Write Amen to feel the peace of the angels and show your support with a super thank you, up to $20. The 7th is that they are plagued by omens and nightmares. The universe doesn't always wait for a public demise to send its lesson to those who profit from deception. Their karma often begins subtly in the recesses of their own consciousness. They start having disturbing coincidences, intense nightmares, or unavoidable recurring symptoms. These events are not coincidental. Rather, they are spiritual warning signs, a reminder that their behavior is reversing course. They may be revealed in ways that startle them, or they may find themselves reliving their falsehoods in their nightmares. These are symbolic representations of the shame and terror they repress throughout the day, not merely dreams. The subconscious doesn't lie, and regardless of how hard they try to hide their transgressions, their dreams force them to face the realities they're avoiding. At night, however, it continues. They are inundated with odd coincidences and reoccurring clues throughout the day. Perhaps they come across circumstances that remind them of their manipulations, or overhear a discussion that uncannily reflects their behavior. Even though these instances may seem unimportant, they are like warnings to them. They are being reminded by the cosmos that nothing is overlooked. These omens get louder the more they are disregarded. All around them, they begin to see patterns, numbers, words, or incidents that appear to recur with unsettling precision. It's a spiritual prod that forces individuals to confront their actions. It's not paranoia. They know in their hearts that these indications aren't coincidental. Rather, they represent a warning that their acts have repercussions, and those repercussions are becoming nearer. They can't avoid the indicators, no matter how much they act like they're in charge. These constant reminders are intended to prepare kids for what lies ahead rather than to punish them. Whether they answer it or not, their karma is going to enter through the door. The eighth is that you have already passed the test of gaslighting. Although gaslighting may seem like an assault on your sanity, it's really a test of your character. The individual gaslighting, you may think they are in charge and are trying to break through your reality by prodding it. However, the universe is the one doing the exam, not them. Additionally, they are failing badly, and their acts are a reflection of their own flaws, even if they believe they are testing your strength. Every deceptive statement and effort to skew your vision is a chance for you to demonstrate your fortitude. You may demonstrate that their power over you is a myth by refusing to give up. However, the exam is about them, not about you. The universe observes how they decide to handle a non-threatening individual. It witnesses every choice they make to distort the facts, every attempt to betray confidence, and every act of brutality they do in order to hold on to power. Something amazing occurs when you overcome their trickery and reveal their actual character. Their gaslighting ceases to be a covert tactic and instead serves as a stark reminder of their moral failings. They are creating their own spiritual condemnation. They are no longer only lying to you. Every lie they utter and every distorted reality they create is a line in their unavoidable karmic record. They are unaware that forces much bigger than themselves are weighing their decisions, not just you. The universe rewards progress, honesty, and integrity, qualities you've shown by refusing to let their gaslighting define you, rather than malice. The truth is far harsher. They are the ones being tried, and their failure is sealing their karmic destiny, even if they believe they are testing your sanity. Number 9. The people will see the crumbling of their phony world. They've meticulously developed falsehoods and manipulation to manipulate you, but they're not as safe as they believe. Karma has a way of bringing the truth to light, and it often does so in the most embarrassing and public manner imaginable. There is a limit to the world they have created for themselves, a world based on lies and warped facts. For a time, their web of lies may seem indestructible, but the more they attempt to keep it up, the more they get entangled in it. Over time, the flaws in their fabrications become more apparent. You and everyone around them are exposed to the lies they uttered in order to dominate, mislead, and manipulate you. Once believers in their falsehoods begin to see the contradictions, inconsistencies, and faint indications of manipulation, their own demise is now the result of the falsehoods they told to separate and perplex you. This is about the people around them realizing who they really are, not simply about losing your trust. Everyone can see the tales they believed they could control and the falsehoods they believed were concealed. Furthermore, they will have nowhere to go once the truth comes out. There is no escape the repercussions when their false world begins to fall apart, because the cosmos has a way of shedding light on even the darkest places. They don't understand that their attempts to control you were weaknesses in their own defenses, not only assaults on your sanity. The same facade they created to conceal themselves will collapse when people realize how dishonest they are. Public humiliation is the unavoidable consequences of living in a false world, and isn't only the result of their behavior. Karma has a way of making sure that the falsehoods individuals speak are never kept a secret for very long. Write Amen for angelic protection and contribute with a super thank you up to $20. 10th, your disinterest contributes to their demise. As soon as you cease manipulating them, you set off a series of events that hasten their karmic demise. Their feeling of control is fueled by your emotional investment in them, your response to their games, your rage, your perplexity, or your efforts to establish your value. Detaching and refusing to play their game, however, is akin to shutting down their whole business. All of a sudden, they have nothing left to support their delusions. Their carefully built facade starts to fall apart without your energy. They may make a greater effort to entice you back in or elicit a reaction. But the farther you distance yourself, the less influence they have. They can no longer control you as a mirror. Your attention and emotional energy are what give their falsehoods life. And when you distance yourself from them, you deprive them of that. As a result, they are left vulnerable and must face their inner emptiness without the diversion of manipulating you. Their karmic doom catches up with them more quickly the more you distance yourself from them. They're left with their falsehoods if you don't have the energy to support their false narrative. They begin to reveal the darkness they have been keeping hidden from both the outside world and themselves. The reality becomes unavoidable, and they are unable to maintain the mask any longer. Their karmic trigger is your disengagement. It's about forcing them to confront their own darkness without any more diversions, not simply about you leaving the mess behind. Your refusal to participate is a step closer to their certain demise. The last blow to their delusional reality is the universe exposing them for what they really are via your detachment.